Hello guys, welcome to iTutor. Today we will discuss the next part of ICT chapter, that is basics of internet, intranet, email, audio and video conferencing. So this is very important because the email part, the last year and usse pehle, three questions are came from this part, especially on the email part. So you can analyze the question, last year question also, se pehle wala question also. So questions are must from this part. It's very important, you just follow it because I'm just discussing the basics and some more terminologies are here, so you notice that in between the class. Okay, and basics of internet. The internet is a worldwide telecommunication system that provides connectivity for millions of other. All of you very familiar with internet, even in phone also you're using internet connection and you are recharging for per month and based on your convenience, and also Wi-Fi system are there. So all of you familiar with the internet connection and everything. So internet, it is the worldwide telecommunication system. It provides connectivity for million of other smaller network. Therefore, the internet is often referred to as the network of network. It allows computer users to communicate with each other across distance and computer platform, including other ICT-based devices such as mobile and other electronic devices. The internet began in 1969 as the US Department of Defense's Advanced Research Project Agency, that is ARPA, for their defense purpose for war communication. Okay, so they are started using internet as a communication system in 1969 in US. The World Wide Web, usually called as web for short, is a collection of different websites you can access through the internet. Internet service provider, internet service ISP is an internet service provider. And last video we discussed the short terms and terminologies also. So it's you just go through it. And ISP is the internet service provider, offers a variety of services for a variety of prices, and web page access, email, web page hosting and so on. Most ISPs offers various internet connection speed for monthly fee. A browser is a program that allows you to interact and view the internet and the contents of the web. The web browser, Internet Explorer or IE, is developed by Microsoft and come pre-installed when you buy a Windows computer. These are the basic information about internet. Okay, and a browser is a free software package or mobile app that lets you view web pages, graphics and most online content. All of you familiar with the mobile apps, your application you can download from Play Store or something. You are using like a Swiggy app is there, and other internet, Google and Google classes are nowadays very familiar, and there also app is there. Zoom you are using for your video conferencing, Skype is there. So these are the applications or different apps, and they have their own software also. Okay, some of them are free, you can freely access with your Android phone. You can some inbuilt there also. Nowadays Amazon is inbuilt in your Android phones and even in computers also. Okay, the most popular web browser include Chrome, most commonly we are using Google Chrome, right? Firefox, Internet Explorer are there, Safari is there, but there are many others also. A web page is what you see in your browser when you are on the internet. Think of the web page as a page in magazine. That is a one page. Okay, when you read a book, one page is there, like that. It's a web page is a one page. You may see text, photos, image, diagram, links, advertisement and more on any page you view. And uniform resource locator, that is URLs, are the web browser address of internet pages and files. URLs, that is uniform resource locator, consist of three parts to address a page or file. And one is protocol, is the portion ending. If you search something in Google or Internet Explorer, there is in the most top most portion you can see the symbol, two hash is there and two colon are there, and most web pages use the protocol. HTTP is the protocol or HTTPS also there, but there are other protocols also. The host or top level domain which frequently end in .com, google.com, your gmail.com is there, and .net is there, .edu is there. If education sites are you are searching, their ending is .edu are there, and .org is government.org, gov.org is there for organization, but can also end in one many others that have been officially recognized. And the file name or page name is name itself. A domain name is the unique alphabetically based part of URL. The domain name can be officially registered with the domain registered by a person, business, or non-profit organization. If you are creating a website for your organization or something, if you're starting some business, you need a website for your promotion and like that. Now, for example, you are searching for some education institution's website for your further information. You will get all the information from your website. If even in UGC have their own website, you will get notifications, exam updates from UGC website only. Otherwise, NTA have their own website, National Testing Agency. You are filling the form in their site. That is a website. And there is the front page, that is one web page is there, and they have their own domain. And they have that is maybe ending with .edu, like that only. Okay. And the top level domain name that designate what kind of site it is. For example, .com for commercial domains. Okay. And .org is for organization. .edu is for educational institution. That is depends upon your organization or your kind of business or your designation of your company. The top level domain names include .com for commercial, .edu for educational, .gov for government institution, or US or Indian government, whatever the government institution, that is .gov is there, and .int is for organization, .mil for military organizations, and .net is for networking providers, and .org is for non-profit organizations. Okay. And also domain name based on country code also included, but are not limited to. And .au for Australia, .de for Germany, .fr for France, .in for India, .uk for United Kingdom, .us for United States, like that. Domains are like that. All of you, most of you familiar with this because all of you using anyway email address is there for, so Google you are using, so .com is very familiar, and even .edu for very familiar. So this is called the domain. And domain name system, an internet address has 4 fields with the number that are separated by periods or dots, and this type of address is known as the IP address. Rather than have the user remember long strings of numbers, the domain name system, DNS system, that is domain name system, was developed to translate the numerical address into words. And SSL is there, is the acronym SSL stands for Secure Sockets Layer. Secure Socket Layer for SSL. SSL is a secure encryption web protocol used to make data safe when transmitted over the internet. And next is web hosting. So a web host is a business or company that offers space, storage, and connectivity in order to enable a website to be viewed by internet users. And there is web server is there. The term web server refers to a specialized computer system or a dedicated server especially designated to host or deliver website. And hypertext markup language is that is HTML, hypertext marker language. HTML is the programming language of web page, and it commands your web browser to display text and graphics in a specific fashion. Beginning internet users don't need to know HTML coding to enjoy the web pages the programming language delivered to browser. And XML is an extensible markup language, that is also the cousin sister of HTML. The XML focuses on cataloging and databasing the text content of a web page. And XHTML is there, is a combination of HTML and XML. Those both of them are language of the browser or website. Okay, and HTTP is a client or server protocol used to exchange hypertext document, is called HTTP, hypertext transport protocol. The main thing you need to know is that HTTP is a language spoken between your web browser, that is the client software, okay, and web server software, so that they can communicate with each other and exchange files. This is very simple, only the some words are there. It's a because it's a internet things, so their own terminologies are there, so that's why. Otherwise it's very simple. You just thoroughly go through one by one, what is HTTP, what is language, what is domain, everything I just explained. And this is very simple form of note only, so you can easily follow up. And basic of intranet. An intranet is a private network that is contained with an enterprise. It mainly consists of many interlinked local area network and also use leased line in a wide area network. The main purpose of an intranet is to share company information and computing resources among employees. Today's working environment often means colleagues are no longer present in the same room at the same time, but separated by large distances. This can make teamwork and face-to-face interaction difficult unless the intranet with the latest communication and collaboration tools is available. Typically, large enterprises allow users within their intranet to access the public internet through firewall servers that have the ability to screen message in both directions, so that company security is maintained. If you have one company, so in between, inside the communication in intranet is because it's a private network. So they are protecting the company's privacy. The data is not going out. Okay, so that's the base of intranet. Extranet refers to network within an organization using internet to connect to the outsiders in controlled manner. Nowadays, with the common man, or we are using the internet, that is a extranet, not intranet. So it's a outside control, not in our home or in our organization control. It's a outside or government, under the government privacies, etc. So that is extranet. It helps to connect business with their customers and suppliers and therefore allow working in a collaborative manner. And now we will discuss basics of email. The last year 3 questions are from the here, basics of email, and one chapter is covering 5 questions each. So only this email part there is 3 questions are there, so that much important. I only added important points only, so you can easily follow up. Electronic mail, that is email. Electronic mail is a method of exchanging messages between people using electronic devices. Okay, you are sending messages, so you can, maybe you have a Yahoo mail, maybe you have Gmail, Hotmail, etc. There is lots of mails are there, but you can message to anyone all over the world. You can connect the email. Invented by Ray Tomlinson. It's the inventor of email. The email first entered limited use in the 1960s, and by the mid 1970s had taken the form now recognized as email. Email short for electronic mail. Okay, so you are writing पहले letter लिखते थे, तो अभी क्या होते हैं, email लिखते थे. So like it's a digital platform for the same letter. They consist of messages which are sent and received using internet. If there is internet connectivity, you can send email. There are many different email services available that allow you to create an email account and send and receive email and attachments, many of which are free. Okay, you can attach a file or document if you want to send, so through email it's very easy. And today the top 3 webmail providers are Yahoo, Microsoft, Outlook.com. Previously it was Hotmail, now it converted to Outlook.com, and Google's Gmail is there. And many people also have an email address hosted by their company, school and organization. These email addresses are usually for professional purposes. If you have your own business or something, you can open an account within the organization, within the name of that organization. So that is categorized as a professional purpose. The first 5 line of an email message is called email header. The header part comprises of following field. There is from, and date is there, and also to address is there, subject is there, CC is there, BCC is there. Okay, and email protocols are IMAP, POP3, SMTP, and HTTP. These are the email protocols. Email protocols are a set of rules that help the client to properly transmit the information to or from the email server. What is POP3? That is Post Office Protocol 3. This is simple standardized protocol that allow users to access their mailboxes on the internet and download message to their computer. The simple design of POP3 allow casual email users who have a temporary internet connection dial-up access to access their email. They can read their email, draft new email, or reply to email while they are offline, and can send this email when they are back online. Okay, this is POP3, Post Office Protocol 3. And what is IMAP? That is Internet Message Access Protocol. Okay, these are the email protocols. IMAP, this is a standard protocol used for email transfer by users. Like POP3, it also supports both online and offline modes of email access. The email message is downloaded to the user's machine only when a specific request is made to read it. Users can download emails to their computer while keeping a copy on the server. The mail on the server are the primary copy, and anything changed on the local machine is updated by what is on the server. That is Internet Message Access Protocol. And SMTP is there, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol is there. As the name suggests, SMTP is a simple text-based protocol that works best when devices are interconnected to each other. However, SMTP protocol can only be used to send emails. Unlike POP3 and IMAP, protocol, SMTP does not provide the functionality to the users to retrieve email from the server. This limits the use of SMTP to some extent. One of the main issue with the SMTP is lack of sender email authentication. SMTP lacks security features too, and thus users get spam emails also. That is Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. Now we will see what is the difference between CC and BCC. CC and BCC are always in the header side of the email. Okay, BCC stands for blind carbon copy. When you send an email to only one person, you type the recipient's address in the to. Okay, there is only one person, you can type your address in the to. All of you familiar with, I think, hope all of you familiar. In case anyone have any doubts, you can ask me in the comment box. Also you can email me. I will explain more, because I think this is very familiar, because nowadays in modern days, even in school, children are also using this email, and also Google classes are there nowadays because of the pandemic, and also all of you are familiar with this. So if anyone left with this, you can contact me through itutor.com@gmail.com. that is also a Gmail email. Okay, and address is to field. Okay, only one person is there. When you send a message to more than one person, you have the option to enter address in the CC and BCC field is there. Okay, more than one person. CC stands for carbon copy, while BCC stands for blind carbon copy. A carbon copy or CC message is an email that is copied to one or more recipient, both the main recipients whose address is in the to field, and the CC recipient can see all the addresses the message was sent to. Even you are putting in CC header, so all of you can see the other recipient's email ID too. When a message is in blind carbon copy, neither the main recipient nor the BCC recipient can see the address is in BCC field. That's the difference between CC and BCC. Okay, hope you understood. If you want to send email in one person, you can just type the address in two. There is two field is there to fulfill. So there you can only one email address is there. If same mail you want to send to more than one person, you can put the email IDs in CC. But in CC, other persons also can see who all you send this email. Okay, that's, and in BCC, but if you get one mail you can only see, but others also maybe get the same mail, so you can't see others domain others email address. That's the difference. Blind carbon copying is useful way to let others see an email you sent without the main recipient knowing. It is faster than sending the original message and then forwarding the send message to the other recipient. It is also good etiquette to use BCC when copying a message to many people. This prevents the email address from being captured by someone in the list who might use them for spamming purposes. However, if it is important that each recipient know who your message was sent, use the carbon copy, that is CC instead. Okay, so this is the basic difference. Now we will see the basic of audio and video conferencing. And when a number of participants of meeting uses telephonic instruments to communicate with each other, then it is known as audio conferencing. Nowadays audio and video conferencing are very useful because of the this pandemic. There is lockdown also there, so company and other offices are holding their meeting through video conferencing, and audio discussions are there for their further move and their business. And even in schools and colleges also using the video and audio conferencing to conduct their classes. When two or more people use digital platform communicate and collaborate with each other to achieve a common goal effectively, then it is known as a video conferencing mode of communication or a tool of face-to-face conferencing. And there are many online tools incorporating a range of options from free one to audio conferencing all the way to more sophisticated and expensive tools such as Polycom, which allow multiple sites with the entire class participating using video and audio. And most popular video conferencing softwares are Skype, Zoom is there, Cisco, WebEx, GoToMeeting, Soho Click, Workplace by Facebook, etc. are the most popular video conferencing. And Google Meet also there, that is from Google side. And these all have their own rules are there, and number of people participating, and some of them need payment also, so it depends. And web conferencing involves sharing content live over the web between two or more locations. Visual material is usually accompanied by an audio track. You can share your slides also through the classes. If you are teaching some students, so you can share your slides also through video conferencing. And if you no need any video, then you can only use audio also. So there is also facilities, same facilities are there. Okay, so hope you understood this much about the basic things of internet, intranet, email, and very important, only important points I added in this slide. And anyway, you can expect at least 2 or 3 questions from this part in the ICT chapter. So we just go through it. Also in the parallel, you just go through the acronyms. Last video we discussed, then combine both the videos and study, then it's very more easy for you. And okay, today I'm winding up. Do like the video and also share if you like it, and share with your friends also. Not only for your UGC exam and other exams also, ICT is the common topic nowadays, so it's very important also. So thank you, and subscribe our channel.